Hi. So this video was totally unplanned, but I was watching Miss Buell's video the other night about enemies to lovers couples in BL, and it got me thinking about all the different tropes that are out there and what makes them so appealing. So today, I want to ramble about my favorite trope of all time, as well as share some of your favorite tropes and reasonings as to why you like them. I love doing videos like this where I can engage with your opinions because everybody has their own way of seeing things. And from the beginning, I've always tried to foster this safe space for us to listen to each other. But let's get started, shall we? I think the word trope typically holds a negative connotation, especially when you consider those more problematic issues that appear in BL. Even generally speaking, tropes are viewed as unoriginal, which they are, that's the literal definition. But I think most people would be lying if they said there wasn't an overused theme or characterization that they're obsessed with. Unrequited love, opposite personalities, class differences, and many others. But for me, the trope that I can never get enough of is soulmates. The idea of two people being spiritually connected and destined by fate is so romantic to me. I'm a person who believes in past lives and spirit families, and so I love watching dramas like Until We Meet Again, He's Coming to Me, and even non-BL dramas like Happy Birthday and Turn Left, Turn Right. Anything that emphasizes the power of the universe and how it relates to love. Maybe it's because I'm a Pisces and thus hopelessly passionate. Dramatics aside, I also think the soulmates trope is something that can be re-envisioned time and time again without getting repetitive. And I know you could say that for pretty much any trope, but if we're talking BL specifically, it gives a lot more creative leeway than, say, engineering. Unless the engineers are soulmates. The point I'm trying to get at is that because the concept of soulmates is so intangible, it creates some serious consequences for those characters that are grounded in reality. I know my channel is an Until We Meet Again fan page at this point, but for example, Dean and Parm are meant to be together. Their souls are connected by this red thread, and that thread isn't visible, but they know it's there, and that's what draws them to one another. Meanwhile, there are environmental factors that could keep them apart. Things like their friends or families who don't understand that connection because it can't be seen with the naked eye. A newer example of soulmates that I'm ride or die for are Ito and Nishi from Love, Life on the Line. These two have a destined meeting on the painted line that divides the sidewalk from the street. And though they may not know it yet, their childlike imaginations are the thread that connects their souls. They spend their lives together, then apart, but because they're paired by fate, they find each other even without the help of that line. Whenever I'm making a video on a specific topic, I always ask my sister for her input, and I came to find out that her favorite BL trope is also soulmates. So I asked her why, and this was her answer.
Hey guys, so this is my first appearance on one of these videos, kind of fun and fresh. Anyways, I feel like real life is unromantic as it is, so me personally, I like to see an unrealistic perception of romance where there is someone for everyone. I want to think real life can be like that, and that there are people that are meant to be, but it's not the most realistic way of thinking, so I live out that fantasy through watching shows and movies.
As I'm listening back to that, I'm realizing that her explanation was far better than mine. So everybody praise Haley for being so articulate. Do you guys like soulmates too? What other couples that fit this trope can you think of? Tell me down below because my head is empty. No thoughts whatsoever. And now I want to share some of my subscribers' mini ramblings about their favorite tropes. I asked you guys on Twitter if you'd be comfortable sending me a clip of yourselves talking freely about this topic, and here are the ones I received.
My name is Wahida and I'm from BB Reactions, and my favorite BL trope would be enemies to lovers. It's a very basic one, but I think you see that in most BLs, at least today. And I think that's the BLs we see very much, or if not the strongest character development, because you see the character develop and they try to be a better person in the relationship they're trying to get into, they're trying to blossom with their partner, or they're trying to be a better person as themselves, if not both of them. And I really do love that aspect. And if that relationship turns out to be healthy, yes.
I think one of my favorite BL tropes, or in general drama tropes, is the journey. Maybe it's a little bit too wide to identify what is it about, but I think that it's more about rediscovery or self-discovery through the meeting with the other one. In this case, I guess we could exemplify it with my engineer, with Ramen King, getting to know each other, discovering what love means for them at a young age, without knowing really what it's about love. And if we talk about Japanese drama, maybe Kino Nani o Tabeta, What Did You Eat Yesterday? With an established couple that redefines the relationship to these interactions of daily life, and that, love is not settled once you meet someone else, but once you start living with them and compromising. And if you want to talk about a movie, maybe Goodbye Mother, which for me is one of the best movies that I have seen lately of queer content. So that's it.
I think my favorite BL trope is found family because I think so many people can relate to that, where maybe you come from a rough background or maybe you have a lifestyle that you're not comfortable sharing with other people, but somehow you find the person that understands you the best, not necessarily a soulmate, but somebody who knows where you're coming from, and they help you build a community around yourself where you feel actually understood and seen. And I think there's too many people in this world that don't have found families, so it's really nice to see it represented on screen. One of my favorite examples of found family is History Make Our Days Count. I think that the found family there is really interesting, and it's something that I love seeing explored in boys love whenever I watch. Thanks.
What's up, girly? How you doing? So, one of my favorite tropes in BLs is the jealousy slash possessiveness, I guess you could say, in BLs. And what I mean by that is usually like the two main characters, right? One of them has this has jealousy or has this entitlement to feel possession of the other person, even though themselves is not with that person, with the other person. And we kind of see this with like Theory of Love, when Third is starts talking with On, and Kai gets hella jealous or shit like that. We also see this in Thorn Type and other BL. I can go on and on, but I think the reason why I'm so intrigued or so interested with this type of trope, I guess you can call it, is, I guess, the passion that derives, the dominance and the passion that derives from the one person being jealous or having this entitlement of being possessive of the other person, and that passion drives them to wanting to become with that person or to become together with that person, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's just one of my favorite tropes, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the daddy issues for me, but yeah, that's my favorite trope, I guess you could motherfucking say. Okay, see you later. XOXO Gossip Girl.
So, my favorite boys' love trope is enemies to lovers. It's my favorite because there's a lot of passion, right? As a passionate person, I like watching the dynamics and the action. It's usually a little more fast paced and more drama. And like, I like fluff too, but there's just something about the aggression you get in enemies to lovers.
Hi Kayla, I love your videos, so I wanted to participate in this one, and hopefully I am of any help to you in the video making process. I agree with you, I love the soulmates trope, but the best friends to lovers trope takes the cake for me. I love being able to see the progression of a relationship that is initially platonic turn into a romantic relationship. I find it really satisfying, and I love to see the feelings and emotions of the couple to grow and mature into something more intimate. And seeing that growth, I find it really beautiful and genuine. That's why I love the best friends to lovers trope.
I also received some comments and DMs from you guys, so I'll read those out here. So jumping right in, we have Elle, who likes the enemies to lovers trope because it shows that change of chemistry and dynamics that comes with people disliking each other, discovering common ground, and eventually falling in love. Next up is Sarah, and she likes the friends to enemies to lovers trope. She finds it interesting seeing the dynamic shift through all the stages, and even though it's similar to enemies to lovers, there's an added layer to it and a lot of problems to work through to get to the point of lovers. Moving on, we have Issa. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And she likes not only the soulmates trope, but the friends to lovers trope as well. She likes the pining aspect and the fact that everyone can see how in love the pairing is but themselves. Even though it can get a little frustrating, she finds it relatable, which me too. And of course, the plot may be basic, but there's always some way to overcomplicate things. From Rachel, we have the tropes of fluff and mutual pining. They like that it shows the characters' chemistry and how their feelings bubble up when they're together. Along with mutual pining, they like the cliche of sharing a bed and think that it presents a great opportunity for further developing the relationship. Lastly, we have Jayn's favorite trope, which is longing. The example she gives is Fighter and Tutor from Why Are You, and how they liked each other for 2 years without knowing what their feelings meant. This trope is related to friends with benefits because there's often one character that catches feelings for the other. And with longing, we also have a lot of time to see the character's emotions and how it plays into the storyline. Jayn also likes enemies to lovers, but with an adventure added, like a murder mystery or a quest where the two characters become closer while working together. First off, thank you all so much for participating. I really didn't think I was going to receive any input because I know speaking on a public platform takes a certain level of comfortability. So I'm very grateful for every response, and I hope to do more videos like this in the future. Please, please, please tell me all about your favorite BL tropes. I promise you, even if you think your words are insignificant, they mean the world to me. If you want to ramble, then ramble. Who's stopping you? Anyway, a great big thank you to the moon and back for watching. I haven't been this excited to upload a video in a while. I hope you guys found this format to be interesting and not a total flop. Okay, let's wrap it up. Have a festive holiday, stay safe, and we will talk very soon. Bye!